You got that fancy new Quest 3 headset, but now what? Will you use it a few times only to have it end up in a corner somewhere being all lonely and crying out into the night to be loved again? Or will it become your new best friend, the friend that you frolic through the woods with, solve puzzles with, and fight the evils of the world with? Will your Quest 3 be that friend who stays by your side even when the people in your life that you thought would always be your friends all of a sudden turn away from you and ghost you and won't return your calls or your messages, and they just make you feel like you're... I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from, really. I don't. I have friends, right? Hello? Okay, Julian, stay focused. Let's make sure your new Quest 3 is the best experience for you that it can be. I'm Jolly Julian, and I love my Quest 3. Okay, that was awkward. While I don't actually spend time making out with my Quest 3, I have to say, it is truly one of my most absolute favorite and most used pieces of tech. I actually, no joke, probably use it almost as much as my smartphone now. And I've compiled a list of 9 simple things that you can do to make sure your experience with the Quest 3 is the best it can be immediately. Let's jump on in. The thing with a virtual reality headset is obviously it's going to be a different experience for every person. It's not like a computer monitor that it's right there in front of everyone. Everyone can use it. Everyone uses it exactly the same way. This is something that you wear on your head. So the number one thing to do first and foremost is to make sure that your headset fits. When you put that headset on for the first time, especially if you're using the head strap that came with the VR headset, you're going to want to make sure to just take a minute or so to get it adjusted on your head, make sure it's comfortable as you can get it the first time you use it. Don't make the mistake of just throwing it on and then jumping into your first experience and it's flopping on your head, or it's sitting funny on your eyes, or it's pressing too hard against your face. Take a few moments and get it to fit right. When you go out to try on clothes, right, you're not just going to grab the first pair and put it on and go, that's close enough, and run out of the store. No, you're going to take time to make sure that it fits right because you know it's something you're going to be using over and over again. So first and foremost, take time to make sure that headset fits, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in one of the points coming up. The second thing to be sure to do is to make sure that the lenses are centered on your eye and that the IPD adjustment of the headset is set correctly for you. Now, with the Quest 3, that's a little less necessary as it's been with previous headsets because the sweet spot of the Quest 3 is so much bigger than most other headsets. But it's still important to make sure that you get those lenses centered on your eyes, both up and down and left to right. So just play with it a little bit and you'll see where, it gets a little fuzzier, until you get it centered right. Then that's where you lock it in and make sure that your head strap is set so that the center of those lenses are just right. Also, use the IPD adjustment on the bottom of the headset and make sure that it is adjusted. That's separating the lenses left and right independently of each other to fit what is called your interpupillary distance. That's the distance between the centers of your eyes, and every person's is slightly different. So just use that adjustment on the bottom to get it exactly right. The time that you spend here will make each of your VR experiences that much better, that much more comfortable, and that much more visually stunning. Number 3 on the list of 9 is the comfort of the head strap and the counterbalance of it. Now, like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that you get that strap to fit right. But another thing that you can do is to counterbalance that, putting a little bit of weight on the back of the head strap to counterbalance the weight that's on the front. Now, this makes a massive difference for a lot of people in the comfort that they get when they're doing virtual reality. And if you have a separate head strap like mine, I'm using the Bobo VR M3 head strap. I absolutely love it. It was well worth the investment that I made for it. I don't know, it was like 40, 50 bucks, something like that. But it comes with this battery that pops on the back that does 2 things. First of all, obviously, it extends the battery life of your headset, but also it acts as a counterbalance on that head strap so that you get much more comfort out of it. It's balancing out the weight of the headset itself. So take some time to get that right. Again, there's no rush here. All of these things that I'm talking about here are not going to take a lot of extra time, and once you do them the first time, They'll be dialed in and they'll be very easy to replicate each time you put the headset on. The next step is to set up your play space. Take a moment to make absolutely sure that you're playing in a space you can be comfortable in, that you can move around a little bit in, that you can extend your arms fully out and not worry about hitting anything in the room, that you can take a couple steps in a couple different directions if you're playing standing and not run into anything. Take the time to set up your play space properly. Now, the Quest 3 makes this very easy. There's two different ways you can do this. By having the Quest 3 map it out using the depth sensor that's on the headset, or you can just map it out yourself. You do it once and it will save it in there. Not perfectly every time. Sometimes you might have to redo it, but they're doing much better with software updates of the headset remembering your play spaces. The reason you want to take time to do this and do it right the first time is one of the things that can most ruin your VR experience is to smack your television, smack your hand against a wall, hit something that's in the room there that will either damage it, damage yourself, or damage your headset or the controllers. So take the time to do this right the first time. The next thing to ensure that you have a wonderful experience right out of the gate with your Quest 3 is to choose your first experiences wisely. If this is your first time doing virtual reality, don't jump into something crazy like a big roller coaster simulator or something where your character is running all around using the stick, but you're staying stationary. Those things can cause what we call VR sickness, or a little bit of queasiness or discomfort. It can also sometimes cause headaches and things like that. Choose your first experiences wisely. I always recommend that you start with a couple of the experiences that come with the Quest 3, like First Encounters, the wonderful MR experience that they included with it, where you're in your own space, moving around freely, where you don't have to worry about crashing into anything because you're seeing your actual space through those wonderful cameras that they have on the Quest 3. These can be great experiences to start with because your character in the VR experience is moving by you moving in the real world. So you don't get this disconnect of the brain saying, well, my body's not moving. Why are my eyes telling me that my body is moving? And then all of a sudden you can feel a little bit queasy sometimes when you first start doing virtual reality. Now, after a while, you'll be able to do new things, try new things, push the envelope a little bit and see how your, quote, VR legs are, right? Once you've done a few simple experiences first. So don't make the mistake of jumping into the craziest thing, the most wild thing that you want to do so badly. Save that for after you've done some other experiences first. If you'd like a list of some of the things that I would recommend to do first as your first experiences, comment below this video and I'll create a video where I walk you through the things and show you examples of the exact experiences I would recommend for anyone who is starting out in virtual reality or who has maybe had a negative experience in the past of feeling a little queasy, a little warm, or getting a headache when they tried VR with a friend or at some location. The next thing to make sure that your Quest 3 experience is the best it can be right out of the gate is if you feel discomfort at all, stop playing. Now this ties very nicely in with the previous one, right? Choosing your experiences wisely. Well, if you're playing something in virtual reality and it's causing you discomfort, stop playing. It seems so obvious, right? But oftentimes people will try to push through the discomfort. And I even made the mistake of telling people to try that when I first got into VR, and boy, was that a mistake. Don't push through it. As soon as you start feeling any discomfort, if you're playing virtual reality of any kind, any discomfort, then stop playing right now. Take the headset off, take a break, relax, grab some water, do something else for a while, and then maybe after a half hour, 45 minutes, come back, pop it back on, and play a little bit longer. But don't make the mistake of trying to push through the discomfort. That oftentimes can lead to you feeling very uncomfortable for a good period of time afterwards, sometimes hours, sometimes even longer. So if you do these things the right way, VR will be an incredible thing for you, and you will develop a tolerance for it as your body gets used to this new experience. The next thing that can help you have a great experience with your Quest 3 right out of the gate is play with friends. Virtual reality is an incredible social experience. It takes the experience of playing games with your friends on a computer and a flat screen to a whole nother level because you feel like you're right there in the same space experiencing it with them. Whether it's something like walkabout mini golf, where it's just like you're on a putt-putt course mini golfing with your friends, or if it's something like Demio, where you're playing a tabletop game with people, or if it's some of the MR experiences, like Drop Dead the Cabin, where you're in your own space fighting off zombies as they break through your walls with the mixed reality aspect of the Quest 3. There are so many wonderful experiences. VR chat, Rec Room, Horizon Worlds, these different things that are just meant to be social experiences. VR can be so much fun with friends. There are plenty of single player experiences that you can do if you just want to be by yourself. But boy, if you like to spend time with friends, get in your virtual reality with other friends who have virtual reality and spread the love. The next thing I strongly recommend for you is to play a variety of short or small experiences to discover what you really love about virtual reality. Virtual reality is a very different experience overall than just playing things on a flat screen. Try some different things, and in virtual reality there are so many experiences that are at your beck and call. If you like first-person shooters, if you like puzzle games, if you like escape rooms, if you like just experiences where you're traveling the world and looking and visiting different places that you could never go to. Whatever it is that you love, there's an experience out there that you can try, and they're very inexpensive because they tend to be shorter experiences. So they're not games that will cost you $60, $70, $80. They're things that might cost you $5, $10, and they're experiences you will remember forever because they were done in virtual reality in a way that you've never experienced before. So try out a variety of things. Get out there, push the boundaries a little bit, do things you might not think you would enjoy, and you may find things in virtual reality that become your favorite experiences. One of those for me, synth riders. Something I did not think would be all that enjoyable, and it's something that I do nearly every single day as part of my workout routine, and it's something that I enjoy doing very much. And the last thing, bringing us to our last aspect here of how to make sure you have a great time in VR with your Quest 3 immediately, is to share your headset with others. Take that mobile headset around with you. Take it to your friends' houses. Pop them in it and show them what virtual reality and mixed reality can be. I love to spread the love, as weird as that sounds, to all of my friends whenever I get a chance to pop somebody who's never been in virtual reality into the headset and watch them experience for the first time what I have loved so much. It is magical. Now make sure you use these same things that I've listed here when you bring someone else into VR, especially for the first time. Make sure you use this same list of 9 things. Take the moment to make sure that they're comfortable, that the head strap's on right, that it's centered well, that they got the play space all set out. Do some simple things first where they're not going to get sick or feel a discomfort at all, because you will now become an ambassador to virtual reality, like I am, like so many of us are that love virtual reality. Make sure that you do your best to have the first experience that your friends have, your family have, be the very best that they can be. All right, I know that was an awful lot. I know I was talking fast. I know we ran through these things quickly. Be sure to check out some of the other videos I've done recently about the Quest 3 and about VR in general. I love this stuff. Absolutely. I hope you can feel that, and I hope you'll subscribe to this channel if you got any value out of this today. That's the only reason I would ask you to subscribe. If you felt you got value, if you felt this was helpful, or if you felt it was entertaining in any way, I don't know. Whatever the reason, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I'm going to be dedicated to doing more and more videos just like this in the coming weeks, and I plan on releasing at least one new one every week. So please feel free to subscribe, like this video, comment on it below if you think I missed anything here. If I missed something, or if you disagree and you've tried a few of these things and they didn't make it a better experience for you, I want to hear from you, and I will respond to your comment. This is Jolly Julian coming to you from the real world instead of the virtual world, but I can't wait to get back in that virtual world, and maybe I will see you there. Jolly Julian, out of here.